Unfortunately, Mr. Dixon is ill this evening and won't be with us, so we will go on with the meeting. Public comment, we have any time for a public comment?
There's have to be a lot of people here.
Well, I think they're going to be about, it's just the ballot question, so it's probably not as exciting as some of the other conversations we have, but anyway, seeing no interest in public comment, we'll move on to the approval of the meeting minutes for January 21, 2025. Those meeting minutes have been made available to you for your review. Could I have a motion?
I move to approve the meeting minutes for January 21, 2025.
And those would be for public release, and I would second that motion in the absence of our additional member. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town Administrator Report. Tammy, I think you're up.
So just two things. One thing is I met with Community Development Block Grant. We did the application. We met with John O'Leary, and DPW Superintendent was here, Senior Center Director, as well as Chairman, Vice Chair John Dixon, Select Board. And we talked about going and putting into our we have the application for the infrastructure for South Barre on First Street. So it's $850,000 grant that we're going to be putting in, and it's due by April 14th. So we started strategizing on all that, and it's really nice because we actually had a lot of good input. Some of the things that they're talking about doing is the First Street. They talked about ADA design for the senior center, a generator. So there's a lot of things that are out there. And with the input of our DPW superintendent and the senior center director, we got a lot of information out there. So it's really looking good, and I'm excited about that. You'll see that's when they go around and do the income surveys around South Barre. So you'll be seeing more of that because that's what actually helps us get these grants. So we had a nice conversation, and we'll be ongoing doing that going forward. So I'm looking forward to that project because this is something we used to be in partnership with Leicester. So now we're going to be just Barre, which is nice. I'm excited about that. That's a nice nice host agreement for the town of Barre going forward.
And one thing we should note, that when they talk about going around and doing the income assessment, the lower the income, the better opportunity you have for some of the grant money.
Yes.
The problem we've had in previous grant applications for the South Barre area was much of the property is not owned by people who have a low income. Most of the properties are rental properties owned by people of some means, at least according to the grant. And so sometimes we are shocked that we were passed over. I know that's happened in the past, and then we were told, well, the reason is the people who own that property are not particularly in the, shall we say, in the income level that attracts this grant. We're hopeful that we still will.
Yeah, they believe we are. We have to be at least 51% in that area. So they've already done some income surveys, and you'll be seeing some more out in that area. Hopefully, if I see that, I will put it on Facebook and kind of put it out there and put it on our website, letting everyone know that they'll be going around. Unfortunately, last time I did not get notified on it, but hopefully if I do, I will let everyone know. But if they do see it, it's legit. It is income survey, and I did sign a letter with my name on it.
We might want to put that out in before they start the process.
Do it again, just in
so
case.
So people don't say, they must be looking for information from me that I shouldn't share.
Yeah, because this is really it's a great program, and it's going to help us a lot for the town of Barre.
Let's hope so. Thank you. What else you got?
The only other thing I have is, actually Joy, she's in here right now, she had asked me for a few questions to ask Jennifer Doyle from DCR, and I didn't hear back from her. I got a message, and then I know she responded.
You just described for the audience who Jennifer Doyle is.
Jennifer Doyle is, she's from the Department of Conservation and Recreation. She's with the old Barre Reservoir Dam. She's the one that's been here talking to us, and there are a few questions that Joy had asked me to ask her. So she did respond to Joy, so I called her and I said, and actually Sam had called me about asking about hydrologist. So I reached out to her today and asked, about a hydrologist, and if she could respond to my email as well. She is working on it, and she's going to look into a hydrologist as well, and she said that she just has to get DCR's approval to send over her email to me. So once I do receive that email, I will send it, and I will give everyone all the information that I end up receiving. So I did reach out, and I did, hopefully we get some good stuff from it. So.
It's too bad that
Welcome.
Bob Kane was here. He and I had lots of discussion. He's very knowledgeable in the water issues. He's very and
passionate.
not just knowledgeable.
I agree.
But
I agree.
passionate.
I agree.
And
Sort of like you, Sam.
it would be, well, thank you. It would be a shame if, as we go forward in life, with our children and their children, that because of making a bad decision today, that they might have water problems going forward. And that's what I'm always.
Well, we've been very fortunate to have, during the absence of actual employees in the water department, are working now with a company. And that company has been able to give us very clear ideas about where we are with our water system, what things we need to address immediately. So the current system needs a time and attention, and I'm very happy to say that we have, for the first time, at least first time for me, okay, I'm sure there's been other times, but, understanding that there are things that need to be addressed. We have very little redundancy. If this one well goes down, it's a problem, a huge problem, but we do have another well that's been closed due to contamination from iron, which can be remediated quite easily with a very small treatment facility that we could build on site, which a lot of grants around for funding. I also have spent some time today with the Massachusetts Rural Water Commission, which is a group out of Amherst area. And they are putting together some legislation, looking for small rural communities like ours, because they, like us, they don't have the capacity financially to manage well systems that they've sort of been, have gotten just because they've always been there. And so we're eager to do some new things and make sure that we have the best people on the ground. So I think that's a good thing. We think we have a candidate for one of the water positions who has all of the necessary licenses. We're happy about that. That will save us some money, not having the company do everything. But we will need the redundancy of the company for a while to make sure things are done properly and that the public water supply is safe and guarded carefully by individuals with knowledge. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I was commenting that Bob Kane was very passionate, competent, and that he should be listened to because he knows, he has experience
Mm-hmm.
in the previous towns that he lived in.
Yeah.
So he's a good resource.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I think that they're when I was talking with Jennifer, it seemed like they felt positive about that we're moving forward and we're trying to find these answers,
Well,
and
that's good.
I felt, that our conversation went really well, so hopefully we'll get some answers.
We've been feeling a little ignored by them, but I guess things are back on track, so it's a good thing.
Yep, and that's all I have.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Select board reports. Mark?
I don't have much, really. One of the only things I want to say, I wanted to say thank you for the donation of a plow from Brown's Trucking and Excavating for, they're going to be using on the front end loader.
Wonderful.
Thank you for, giving it to the town of Barre, and also Tim, our new DPW super, for facilitating that whole thing, putting it all together.
Great.
And they're gonna be doing some welding on it to make it up and going for that, and that was kind of nice, really nice.
Yeah.
And also, for all the work that the DPW superintendent and the water commission is doing on, acquiring a new water operator, chief
Yeah.
water operator.
Yeah.
A lot of time involved with that.
Yeah, that was...
Chasing him down.
Yeah, that was very, very good news for us. We also have been very fortunate. We have an experienced mechanic who will be joining our team,
Yes.
I believe probably within the next week or so. So we're very happy to have that individual with us as well. And until all the documents are signed and sealed, I will not, give a name. But anyway, we're really happy to have him. He's had a great deal of experience. He can fabricate, he can weld, he can do all the things that I didn't know what they were talking about. So I thought that was very good. So we're really happy to be building that DPW department and so forth. We also have been moving along in the evaluation of our process for the fire chief. And on the 29th, Quabbin had hosted by providing us with some rooms, and the team that is doing the evaluation of applicants spent a day there with doing all sorts of what did they call it?
Assessments?
Assessments, but also, like they give an individual a problem, like that has to do with fire or ambulance, whatever, and then they have to, within a certain very short time frame, figure it out.
Yeah.
And so, they have, everybody was smiling. They came there at 7:15, and they were about ready to leave at about a little after 5, and so you said they were still smiling.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
to it too, and they were smiling actually when Sandy and I went there. In the end, they were all still smiling, and they seemed to be doing really good. So
Yeah.
I won't know until next week what the scores come out to be.
Yeah, and they will provide us with information about the performance of the candidates and so forth. And obviously, some of those candidates are in-house candidates that we all know, and so we know some background on those. There's a couple, I think, that are not within our organization, but have made application and have been through the evaluation process. So we will have a lot of good, solid information on candidates. They will then recommend 2 or 3 or whatever number they come up with for the selectmen then to spend time in an interview process. They will also manage the interview process to say, okay, that may have sounded really good, Maureen, and if I were a physics teacher, that'd be great, but that's all I am. I would not know the answer to a really cogent, difficult question to a fire, person. So we will have people there that will help us to have questions and to understand which individuals had the best strength of answer. So I think we're in good shape with that, and hope to move that process along within the next 8 weeks.
And what is the timeline on that?
We're hoping within the next 8 weeks that we would be prepared, to have the interviews.
Here.
Yes, here. Maybe, before, hopefully, the end of maybe the month, we'll be able to set that up. So in mid-March, we'll be doing some interviewing then.
Okay.
Also, I know that we've been working with Spectrum Charter to negotiate a new contract, probably 10-year contract. The 10-year contract that we've had in the past has lapsed. And we are working on what we call a contract extension, which is not atypical in this business, I understand. And our attorney, we have an attorney that's representing us in this negotiation. Unfortunately, it's a very difficult negotiations in that they have all the power, all the phone poles, they own all the spaces on the phone poles. So to think we could say, we're not really interested in you, let's get a new company in here, probably not. So we have a very competent attorney who's been recommended to us by Josh Smith, the moderator, who was chairman of the cable committee for numbers of years. So we're thinking we are represented with a good person, and we will be finalizing the extension agreement that the attorney has drafted for us. Let me see if I have anything else. I don't think I have anything there. I don't think I have anything there. One thing I would like to publicly do, though, is to take time to thank the Quabbin Regional School District for their central office for allowing us to utilize a lot of property. Several large rooms where they were doing fire stuff, and then conference rooms where we were doing some more individual kind of work for the entire day. They moved some of their stuff around in order to accommodate us, and so thank you to the Quabbin Regional School District for their help with that. It was nice to have the opportunity to use a facility that just they needed a big room, a small conference room, and we weren't be able to provide that here. And they certainly were, so we were happy about that.
Yes, we
and
were.
I know people moved out of some things and rearranged some schedules there to take and accommodate
They
us.
even set up all the tables for us
Yeah.
and everything, which was very nice.
Yeah, so that was great for us to do. I think that's about it, other than I could do correspondence, Mark, we do have correspondence about the police. For the Drug Enforcement Administrator, they had a letter of commendation for the police department. And that was, I think, some things are redacted since people who were involved in that.
Names,
Yeah, okay. Just Chief Sabarin, I wanted to take this opportunity. This is from Jason C. Ryan, the Acting Assistant Special Agent in charge of the New England Field Division. I just want to take this opportunity to recognize the excellent work of blank of the Barre Police Department. Beginning in May of '24, contacted Task Officer of Drug, I'm reading around these redactions, Enforcement Administration's Worcester HIDTA office with regard to drug trafficking organization ties within the town of Barre. And members of the DEA Worcester HIDTA DTA coordinated surveillance conducted controlled purchases of narcotics and subsequently executed a search warrant which produced over 700 grams of cocaine and the arrests of several drug traffickers. The actions and dedication of your staff effectively shut down a large-scale drug trafficking network. DEA is committed to supporting our local law enforcement partners to keep our community safe. Thank you again for you and your staff. So that's very good news for the town of Barre. One less thing that we have to worry about. That's all I think we have for correspondence, other than some resignation letters that we'll talk about in a moment. We need a vote for, under new business, for surplus equipment and liquidation list. Is that you, that's you, Mark?
Yeah, what I'd like to do is, I spoke with the DPW superintendent on various pieces of equipment down there, and we're gonna put together a list of what is needed, what's not needed, and pretty much move forward, with a vote to liquidate it through Municipid or Auctions International or something like that. And but it's the very beginning stages of seeing how I'm involved with the inventory of all the equipment, and so
It's a challenging job, Mark, thank you.
What's that?
It's a challenging job, thank you.
But that's I do know equipment, and
Yes, you
so
do.
we can, I think we can make pretty short work of it.
So basically, what we need is a vote by the selectmen to authorize the evaluation and obviously in final liquidation, if necessary, of surplus equipment. So could I have a vote, or should a motion?
Okay, I would move to identify, list, and liquidate surplus equipment in the DPW.
We have a motion to put together an appropriate list to identify surplus equipment and potentially to move through a liquidation process as required by statute. You have a motion? I
Yep.
second it. Those in favor?
Aye?
Okay, good luck.
No problem.
I know, because you know what that stuff is. Okay,
Well, I'll have a lot of, actually, to this point, we have Scott Churchill and
Yep.
Tom George down there. They've helped put together
preliminary stuff.
in a corner of what we don't really need anymore, along with Tim. Tim knows exactly what we need.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think we'll be in good shape.
okay.
Did you say aye?
I did, aye. I'm sorry. Charter Communications, the extension lease agreement vote, we did take that, I think, I
You just
talked
gotta
about it.
vote, yeah, you gotta vote.
We need to vote for it, that, okay.
The extension.
We need a vote then to work to execute an extension license agreement with Charter Communications. Could I have a motion?
Yeah, I move to work to an extension license agreement with Charter Communications.
I would second that. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then we have some Council on Aging member resignations. Arthur Raiche is seeking to resign from the organization, as is Brenda Rich, Alfred Hamel. Also, so we have 3 resignations from the board. Tammy, would you like me to read those into the record?
Yes, I think you have a
Okay. I got one.
paperwork.
Dear Barre Board, this letter is to serve as my resignation from the Barre Council on Aging Board effective immediately. I have concluded that I am no longer a good fit with the board. Signed, Arthur Raiche. Second, we have, Dear Select Board, while navigating a most exciting and challenging past year, we were led by an extraordinary and dedicated chairman who has now chosen to resign. In self-reflection, I conclude that I am no longer a good fit for the COA board, and I submit my resignation effective immediately. Brenda Rich. Dear Barre Select Board, this letter will serve as my resignation from the Town of Barre Council on Aging Board effective immediately. Recent developments, as well as a personal health concern, have led me to this decision. Alfred Hamel. Those are the 3 letters of resignation, and I would seek a motion to accept those resignations with regret.
I would move to accept the letters of resignation as presented from Arthur Raiche, Brenda Rich, and Alfred Hamel.
I would second that. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Are there enough people on that board?
No, they will need, I don't believe they have a quorum without
I don't
those
believe
three,
so
so we'll
either.
be, obviously putting out information that we'd like to see some people who would like to participate in the board to see Sandy. Okay, request for use of town property. These are requests that we are, I would say, annual. And
Actually, this, oh yeah, I'm sorry, it is annual.
we have Kate Hall would like to use the South Common on April 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for an Earth Day event. It seems amazing that we're already talking about April, but that makes me feel better than it does when we're talking about February. So those in favor of authorizing the use of South Common, April 26th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for an Earth Day event?
Would you like a motion?
Yes, I would.
Okay, I move to approve the authorization of Kate Hall in the Commonplace Market for the use of South Common on April 26, 2025, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the Earth Day event.
We have a motion to authorize the use of South Common for the purposes of an Earth Day event. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, again, from Miss Hall, a person who we should thank a lot, I think. She seems to do an awful lot of things for us. The Barre Farmers Market, the use of South Common, May 1st through October 31st from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. That is a long-standing kind of commitment by this organization, and we are happy to we continue to be happy that they want to use our South Common. They have a successful market for us. We need a motion.
Yes, I move to approve the use of the South Common by Barre Farmers Market on May 1st, October 31st.
To October 31st.
What's that say, every Saturday from
Yeah.
8 a.m. to
Yeah.
1 p.m.
Okay, we have a motion to authorize the use of the South Common by the Barre Farmers Market Group on May 1st through October 31st from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, so then we have a wage authorizations, I believe, here that I have. No, got it, I think. Okay, we have from the town clerk, who is recommending the, classification and administrative assistant to the town clerk of class 3, step 1, for $19.33 an hour. And we need a motion. Wendy Gruzewska.
I move to approve the wage authorization from Class 3, Step 1.
Jen-
Wendy Grozalka for
Yes.
the amount of $19.33.
That is a raise from $18.50. It's a step move for her.
Yeah.
Okay, we also have from Chief Robert Rogowski, we have the present hourly rate for a firefighter by the name of David Moran, on-call fire department, and he will have a proposed, his present hourly rate is $24.04. The proposed hourly salary will be $21.57 because he is going from an actual employee to an on-call. So he'll be on an on-call rate at $21.57. He is going to, I believe it's East Long Meadow as a fireman.
Mhm.
So we'll only have him as an on-call person, which is too bad for us. So we need a wage authorization to not only elect this individual to our on-call staff, but to pay him an amount of $21.57.
I move to approve the wage authorization for David Moran to a on-call firefighter for $21.57, effective 17th of January
That's your
25.
motion, I will second that. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, we didn't vote on the one
You
before.
didn't second Wendy's.
We didn't. Yeah,
Oh, we didn't vote on
second-
her? I
yeah, we
am
didn't.
so
Do
sorry.
you want to do them together, or?
No, since we just did this one separately,
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
seek a motion to accept the recommendation of the town clerk for the movement of her administrative assistant from step 3 to step 3, step 1, which would be $18.50. So we need a motion?
Move to accept what's wrong?
I have
One,
administrative
class three.
assistant to the town clerk, class 3, step 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's 1933.
Yeah, so she's
From
going to.
1850 and
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you said from 18,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
heard
yeah,
the
yeah,
18 and, okay.
I move to approve the wage authorization for Wendy Grozalka for $19.33 an hour.
I will second that motion. Those in favor of the increase to the salary of the administrative assistant to the town clerk from $18.50 an hour to $19.33 an hour. Those in favor? Aye. Okay, it's a vote. Okay, Dave. Okay, now we are going to old business. And old business will include or focus primarily on, at least from our perspective, the Barre Reservoir Dam and the ballot question. The ballot question that I will read into the record is the one that is recommended or required by the town clerk and also recommended by our legal counsel. This question is not binding. It's a non-binding question. It will go on the ballot. When you go to vote for select board members or budget and finance, or you don't vote for budget and finance, health, the Board of Health, whatever, this will be a question on that ballot. The question will be, shall the town direct the select board to issue an opinion to the Massachusetts Office of Dam Safety that the town intends to take possession of the old reservoir dam in order to repair the dam to maintain the current water level of the reservoir? Obviously, this question would mean that the Board of Selectmen, again, would be notified of what the community voted for. They may vote against that, which would mean we would not seek to, we don't have to, but we would not seek to take ownership of the dam, but instead work with the Office of Dam Safety to do a different thing with the old reservoir. And it's non-binding to the select board, but it would give us a clear idea as to what the town feels that they would like to do and why. And we will be providing some public hearings on, if you vote yes, this is what would be. If you vote no, this was the options that you would have. Because it doesn't mean if you vote no that there's no option, you just leave it as is. It means that we would not preserve the dam with the water behind it. We would let the water flow as it naturally did, and the Department of Dam Safety would take the responsibility and pay for every effort to, I guess, remove the dam and provide a stream back to the original area where they would go into the Prince River. We will obviously imagine that we will have a number of individuals who say, I don't live near this, I don't care what you do with it, I'm not even voting on the question. There will be other people who say, I live near this, it's important to me, I would like you to save the dam and take ownership of it. And there'll be others who say, if there's a way to return it to its natural, kind of flow, you should do that. So at any rate, I don't know what the select board will actually do at the end of all of this, but it is our effort to get as much information from the whole community as we can. From at least this perspective, we've had a lot of input from people who live near the area. We haven't had any input at all, I would say, from most of the people who live, say down on Wheelwright Road or down in Barre Plains or whatever. And this will be an opportunity for us to put some specific information in front of the town at a couple different hearings and to answer questions and just talk about what will cost the state, what the state will pay for, what the town would pay for, and what would happen to the water flow if the dam is removed, if the dam remains, and so forth. So lots of questions to answer, and I think, people on both sides of the issue will have the opportunity to give us a little direction.
Are we going to get a response from a hydrologist
Well-
before that goes up? Because that would be critical.
Well, yes, and yes, I would love to do that. I would just tell you that getting a hydrolysis and finding the way in which we can pay for it is a challenge for us. And so we have reached out to a number of different state agencies to say, do you have a hydrologist who would work with the community? They look at you like, not really, we're lucky we have one hydrologist. But we're talking to the people again
Yeah.
and seeing if they, can provide us with at least some insight. There are, the DEP does have some water mapping, they do. I don't know if it's as specific as some of the underground hydrology that I think people really want to know about. So getting a hydrologist, one that is available and that we can afford. Now remember, this is non-binding. So if we don't have the hydrologist before and just saying we're getting more information, the select board can obviously include that in their deliberations when they make the final decision about what to do with the.
It would be
the
nice to know for the town.
Well, of course it would be, and I agree with you 100%. Be nice to know already, but
No, but it'd be nice to know for the town that we were smart enough to save some ARPA money to buy a hydrologist. And if a hydrologist is, if we can't get a hydrologist for free, we can afford to pay one. That would be nice.
Well, as you said, the ARPA money was, certainly several years before this need was
Yes.
very obvious to us. In fact, almost all gone before we had the opportunity to consider this. So, I guess hindsight's always 20/20. And, this will be an interesting thing to watch, to see the level of interest and commitment the town has to this.
Because the people surrounding that area are very,
Oh, absolutely. But understand, the people who will participate in looking at the, what is this thing that the town, repairing it, removing it, and then creating, back to the old original flow pattern. Having all that information, people can then say, okay, this is what we really want the selectmen to do. I hate this. I want them to say, whatever they say, we'll do. Because that'll make my life easier. But that's not the way it's going to be. It's going to be
Yep.
us using as much information as we can to try to make the best decision we can. And it's sad because people will say, well, you don't know, you've not lived here. You don't know what's important to us. And this isn't as important to you because you don't live there. You live up Pleasant Street and you're too high and you don't even see that water. I get it. I don't look forward to the vote.
There's no winners on this one.
There's no winners, especially the three of us. There's people who are going to say, we don't have the money to play the game of let's have this piece of property to manage and maintain. There are other people who will say, how could you not take into account how important this is to at least the people who live around it and to the current, flora and fauna that exists there. Other people will say, how can you even imagine that you will support looking at this dam that has taken away the natural river's flow because people thought it was a good idea at the time? So there's three, certainly, I think, ways in which to look at this. And we're going to have, I think, someone coming from, that has done number 3, which is to allow the dam to be removed. And what they did, in the state did, in their work to create a natural flow of the river that once existed. That seems to be something that is, the environmentalists are saying, that's what you should do. Other people feel very differently about it. And there's pros and cons.
no matter where I go, everybody has a different idea.
I know. So at any rate, that's what we need tonight, is this question has to be voted by a majority of the board in order to go on the ballot. So, could I have a motion?
Oh,
Let me put it on so we can discuss it before we vote. Okay, we'll make a motion and then I'll second the motion, then we'll discuss.
so
This-
we would put this as an amendment?
Second vote, like, there was a yes, and there's still gonna be 2 questions, right?
No, there's only one
Oh,
question.
it's just gonna be one?
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
that was per legal.
That's
what they came
that's
up
what
with.
legal and,
It's a non-binding
Thank you.
question.
okay, just one question.
So would I be moving to approve the supplement to the ballot question?
No, not at this time. The supplements will be something that obviously we'll put a group of individuals to work on the supplements. Like, if you vote this yes or no or this, this is
What are
the
we
stuff you
considering
should
this
know.
as?
Always should, the question that will be on the ballot that is non-binding, the town shall, and that's all we need to do tonight.
I mean, aren't you, isn't this board, or isn't the town pretty clear by the fact that every time there's been a discussion about this, there's been an enormous amount of people filling this room?
Mhm.
Isn't that evidence enough of interest of maintaining the existing property?
Well, I would say to you, based upon the people I've seen, does that mean, okay, that I should assume that the rest of the town feels like those 30 people who show up, who live near it? I don't know, maybe they do, maybe they do. I don't think most people have given it much of a thought. I don't think, as I said, I think there are people who are saying, what are you talking about? What dam? I'm talking about people who've lived their entire life in Barre, okay, or a large portion of it. They never knew it was there. They didn't think too much about it. I mean, I don't know. How about you, Sandy? You've lived a long time in Barre. Have you ever thought about the dam before?
I never knew it existed.
Okay, never knew it existed. So, anyway, so what we need is just this question. It's not binding,
It's just to
and
help you make, it's just to help you become more knowledgeable about how 5,000 people think.
yes, yes. If we're ever lucky enough to see, even close to 3,000 people vote. Okay? You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve the non-binding question as presented by Madam Chair for the ballot.
We have a motion made and seconded to take the language that has been provided for us by our attorney and also approved by the town clerk to place a non-binding question on the ballot. That non-binding question, again, shall read, shall the town direct the select board to issue an opinion to the Massachusetts Office of Dam Safety that the town intends to take possession of the old reservoir dam in order to repair the dam to maintain the current water level of the old reservoir? We have a motion. I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye. Now, anybody have any questions relative to the non-binding question? We are going to urge and encourage all people, whether it be Mr. Kane, he's already presented us with some background information that he would like to have, reviewed and potentially, to have a pamphlet or so that could be sent out to both voters.
We can't do that.
Huh?
We can't do that according to legal. We can't send out like poster guides or anything like that.
Well, we can't.
Right, yeah, if he wants to,
Okay, we can't, but other people can.
right.
That was kind of what I was gonna ask, because if different sides who wanna provide their opinion, it's really not going to be your collective jobs to
Correct.
put out this information.
Yeah.
It's the people who are interested parties
Mhm.
need to figure out a way to get the information.
Yeah. And as accurately as they can, of course, we hope.
Yes.
And obviously, we would probably prepare a timeframe. We say, we're having a meeting, a public hearing, and if anybody can come and present. Another public hearing, because sometimes people have a good idea, but they don't have the ability to, get a meeting room and do the stuff that the selectmen can do, which is to at least call, a meeting for public comment. Because it's important for us to hear that public comment. And for voters, hopefully. So that's our plan. Any other questions on the, lots more conversation in the next 7 weeks on this, I would guarantee. And it's going to be interesting, I think, to hear from people who have done some have removed the dams, some who've repaired the dams, or, made them so that at least they're safe, and others who have decided to, let the dam continue to, because it's really failing every day. It's not going to stay like this forever. So to take it out and to allow the river to do its, what it used to do in the past. And try to get a hydrologist potentially to come and even speak at one of those who has no, game to win. They say, this has nothing to do with your aquifers. okay? And I'm a hydrologist, and I know that from looking at whatever. Whether we can get someone to do that. I'm guessing there are maps around with a lot of hydrology information that if we talk to the right people, we can get some of that information out. Okay, so I think that that is our last item on the agenda. Seeing no further information necessary. I would just, ask to have the individuals who are resigning, that we would send them a note. And would you also send a note to the Quabbin Regional School District thanking them for
Absolutely.
allowing us to use their property for our evaluation of officers? Okay.
Oh, I thought that was yours.
Okay, I guess we're going to adjourn. We have a motion?
Move to adjourn?
We have a motion made to adjourn. I'll second that motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sandy looks at the clock and says, "Oh my God, this